My anaconda don't want none unless you got bun, hun. All right, so apparently Bun is catching a little bit of flack. This tweet garnering 1 million views, which is a lot on Twitter. That's a lot for tech Twitter. Tech Twitter, like a big tweet is like 100,000 views. Like that you're doing something pretty big on Twitter when you're hitting that. And Jessie goes off and says, "Hey, how is it possible for Bun to dunk on every single JS benchmark? Does no one else care about performance or what?" I mean, I know Jessie probably didn't mean it this way. But when you come out the gate swinging like that, I think you're only going to get defensive answers. Can we all agree? Maybe a little too defensive here. People are going to come out and they're going to be pissed. They're going to be, shit. You already know what's going to happen here. It's that people are going to get spicy. All right. So Matteo's been working on Node for a long, long time. Here's a few reasons. Let's see what Matteo has to say. First off, Node has no budget of its own, and NPM is maintained by a tiny team. Yeah, well, NPM also sucks. Most of the investment being made are in adding capabilities or things more secure, not by making things faster. Making things faster does not make anyone more money. It's a bit of a tragedy of the commons. Interesting. But it saves them more money, so maybe perhaps that's something you should care about. Bun does not care about backward compatibility with a significant portion of the NPM ecosystem, and specific despite their claim, Node.js processes are built around not breaking the ecosystem instead. So I wonder about this one. This is the one that I really want to know more about, because they made that claim. In the Bun 1.0 release, it says it's pretty much a drop-in replacement for Node.js. We are going to take some time this week to test whether or not that's actually real. Is it? I don't know. Bun is also a different trade-offs in a few areas, making it unsuitable for my own workflow. My 2 cents is that if those trade-offs were done by Node and NPM, they would have not reached the success they have. As an example, it does not copy files when installing dependencies. I'd have to think about that. Why is that good or why is that bad? So are you saying that Bun just symlinks a bunch of directories? Is that why Bun is faster? You know how if you look at the Bun 1.0 release, it's like, dude, we get done in absolutely no time. Symlinks on Linux, hard links on Mac. Okay. I believe in open standard and open governance, or runtimes and infrastructures are better with it. See a Terraform fiasco. Having open governance means broader decision-making process, which everyone is heard, but it's also slower. I don't actually agree that this is better or worse. I don't think you can say that this is either a positive or a negative, in the sense that Terraform is in trouble because they just didn't have the dollar bills, and they it just didn't work out. Four is altruistic bullshit. I actually do agree with that assessment. It's kind of a fake conundrum you're putting yourself into. Like, first off, open governance doesn't necessarily mean good outcomes. See the Rust Foundation for examples of not being good. I think that it's nice to have, like, any platform. I do believe in the idea of open source, right? I think that if you're going to be using a platform, I think it's very nice when it's open source, so you can look at it, that you can see what's going on, so that you can understand how it works. But at the exact same time, I just don't know if I buy this last one as like what makes Node better or worse. Let's see. Although Bun is YC backed, how many human hours were put into Bun in comparison with Node? Much less. You're significantly underestimating how much there is behind building a runtime that can work on a combination of 50-something OSs and hardware. Also, legacy slow things down quite a bit. Starting from scratch is much lower effort. I think Matteo's completely right on this one, and I really don't think this. Saying they are VC funded, I don't think is like a really good sell. Can we all agree that that's not necessarily a great sell here? Like, you're not making me think Bun is less capable or more. But, all right, so we're going to back up a little bit, because this is where I think we get to the egregious one. So let's see what goes on here. Are you guys ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? A better tweet would have been, sorry, Zig wasn't around when we wrote Node.js. Well, it's not just Zig, right? C++ and Zig should have identical performance. There's nothing in Zig or C++ that should make it somehow faster, if you know what I mean. If anything, let me think about this for a second. I really don't think it should make a huge, huge difference here. So I'm just trying to think of anything in which one would have, if one would have an advantage over another, I don't see it. Zig is just newer. It has some nicer constructs already kind of built into the language, so perhaps development is a bit easier, but the language is also significantly less mature, so it is also kind of like difficult. Bun apparently isn't a superset. We're going to prove this hopefully at some point. All right, hey, I'm the person working on performance at Node.js. Who says Bun is fast at every single benchmark? Did you look into the recent performance improvements in Node.js? Did you read the URL benchmarks, for example? That doesn't feel like the right response here. Oh my, wow, dude, you got the golden kappa. Oh shit, only one person on Twitch get those every 24 hours. This is twice now in my chat that I've seen the golden kappa ever. Let's go, Jetster. You got it. You got the golden kappa. Yeah, when I see this, yeah, are you serious? Absolutely. The golden kappa is a real thing. There's only been like 400 some people that have received a golden kappa ever. Anyways, who says, yeah, so this feels a little strange. This feels a little strange in the sense that, like, I don't know what, again, URL, is this going to be a big win for everybody? Is everyone going to feel fantastic about it? Like citing, here's a general rule of thumb when it comes to arguments. If you're going to say, like, if you are attacked and you can't refute with just hey, here's a series of tests we've done to show the differences between Bun and Node.js, but instead you're just like, yeah, well, so, like you answer kind of like Harry does on Dumb and Dumber, you really aren't getting the W. There's no W going on here. All right, so we're going to go into the response. Anyone who claims Node.js isn't focusing on performance should read this post by Raphael. Okay, so we have this is in 2023, so they are looking at the performance stuff. Hold on, they are looking at HTTP3, a lot of benchmarks, blah, 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 blah. This is an extremely long blog post. Maybe it's something we could go over at some point, but they are doing a lot of work. And, I mean, I don't think anyone should be surprised that they're doing work here. Actually, I'll keep this up. Maybe we'll do this as a separate thing. See, I like this one. So this is what I want to see right here. So this is exactly what I suggested. You should go and do an actual performance, do something that really shows the difference between the two, because at least then we can all argue what is pros and what is cons. Plus, you get to double check plus you get to check their numbers. And what did he say? If I get paid for it, yes. Unfortunately, all my work on Node.js is voluntary and not paid. RIP Bun or Node or whatever. I mean, personally, I'm just going to continue to use Go, but I'm not going to lie to you. That maybe, you could have said the same thing without saying the same thing. Do you know what I mean? One could have imagined you could have said something more along the lines of, I work purely voluntarily. I'm a complete volunteer when it comes to this, so I don't have a lot of time to be able to spare for these type of adventures. Maybe we could put it on the backlog and we'll see if we can get to it. It's a good way to, you can say a lot of things without saying a lot of things. You know what I mean? I don't get paid enough to have soft skills. That's just corporate speak. Yeah, of course it's corporate speak. Sometimes you want to do corporate speak. You know what I mean? Like if you're speaking on behalf of a corporation, which Node.js is a corporation, you want to come out with a little bit of corporate speak. You'll notice I never talk on behalf of of Netflix. It's because I'm smarter than that. I'm not going to say nothing. I don't know nothing. I'm not on that. But nonetheless, it's just like you can't complain about something. Or, okay, actually you can. This is actually the Twitter way. You complain about things that you can easily prove as good or bad or where they're good or bad, but instead it's easier to simply complain. And when someone says, okay, well then show me the receipts, you say, yeah, I mean, not like I'm getting paid to do this work. I get paid to do the work in which I personally complained about and also identified myself as probably the most capable individual of doing it. Anyways, scroll down a little bit. Okay, we're going to go more. Could you provide evidence where Bun is inferior to Node? It would be interesting to see Node bite back. URL parsing? Okay, that's it? It's just URL parsing? Are they parsing? Wait, please tell me that they're not parsing. Are they parsing URLs? Please tell me you're not parsing URLs in anything, but just do it in C++, dog. Okay, yeah, they're just doing it in C++. Okay. Incredible. It's a URL parser. I'm not going to lie to you. Hanging your hat on a URL parser is not necessarily, I'm not like super impressed. Just throwing it out there. I know this may sound offensive to some people, but if you're like, I mean, Bun just came out and was just like, we've improved package management, we've improved runtime, we've improved startup speed, we've improved this, we've improved that, we've improved this, we've improved that. We're trying to make it compatible. We're doing this, we're doing that. And then you're like, yeah, well, have you seen our URL parser? This shit's faster than slicker than grease. Faster than lightning. It's speedy. It's just like, I mean, it's not the way to come out. It's just not the way to come out. You know what I mean? That URL parser can be a life changer. I know. It's grease lightning. I know it is truly grease lightning. It's the Lightning McQueen of URL parsing. Ka-chow! Just long as we don't talk about Cars 2 and make TJ go on that 15-minute chat he goes on every single time he hears that someone likes Cars 2. Long as we don't say that, I think we're good. Okay, so this is... I mean, this all seems pretty wild. By the way, Jared, obviously... I mean, look at the man's eyes right there. Those eyes say, I've committed something like 2.5 million lines of code. And then they show his graph right here, and they're like, hey, man, you committed like 2.5 million lines of code. I've seen some shit, okay? I've seen so much shit. You have no idea. It's all Zig. Okay, so this is good. I mean, I like everything that's going on. Okay, so here's what I think. Okay, we're gonna reach out with Dax. Dax has the most based takes of them all. I love Dax. First off, it's hard not to love anybody that grew up in a commie country and then escaped it and then comes to America and becomes successful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the guy. He has those stories that everybody loves, okay? It's fantastic. Inspirational, okay? The man's running a 400 and under a minute before anybody else. Love to hear it. So let's see it. With Bun's 1.0 launch, there's going to be an inevitable cry of, but it's VC funded. I hope I can provide some perspectives. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a huge fan of VCs. Yeah, I don't think anyone are. They're soul-sucking evil people. Anyways, I've spent my entire career building early-stage companies, and the majority of VCs provide a negative value. The classic inverse value. They just give you money. I'm going to give you money and then suggest bad ideas for the rest of your life. Take it. Or you can't build your company. And you're like, oh, shit. This is the worst. This is a Faustian bargain if I've ever seen one in my lifetime. I think a lot of companies should have never gone down the path, but I think people miss why companies absolutely should. Building a business is hard. You have to wake up every day and try to push it forward while the world largely ignores you. The entire struggle is about staying motivated. And the reality is that it was a lot more fun and energizing to shoot for something ridiculously ambitious and impossible. Day to day, a small business and massive business take the same amount of struggle. In terms of pure concept, the small business seems easier to execute on, but things fail when the founders run out of energy, not really because the idea was too hard. This is very interesting. There's not much that's more tedious and painful than building something like Bun. The pain feels a bit pointless if the outcome is small consulting business. They're clearly talented. They would have had the constant distraction of better sounding opportunities floating around. Bun might have not even made it to 1.0. It feels more worth it when the outcome could be running massive data centers around the planet, executing the majority of the world's compute. And to do something like that, you need to go down the VC path. They'll likely fail. But when they do, at least it won't be because they've got bored and couldn't follow through. Dax is so good. Based Dax as always. Dax just coming out with just like the most awesome takes of all time. Honestly, Dax's takes are always so damn good. This is perfect. I think this is honestly a perfect take in the sense that, I mean, I cannot tell you how hard it is building a startup. I spent 1.5 years doing a startup and got it pretty dang far. Even got a guy running for governor to use my product, which I thought was pretty good breakthrough. Like, we went pretty far. But ultimately, we just didn't have the money to continue. The energy wasn't there. People were just starting to lose it. And, you know, it's really hard. It's really hard to say no to something you thought could be the one. You know what I mean? They know each other, so I think this is just some sort of joke. And also, they're always calling this guy a racist. Poor Dax gets called a racist all the time. Thanks for linking that. That makes all things great. Yeah, they constantly call Dax white, and he's the least white guy I know of currently. Today, he's by far the least white person that Twitter has deemed a white person and calls him racist all the time. Very strange. It's very strange. It's very strange what Dax gets to go through on the regular. I know. Very white adjacent. I mean, poor guy. A poor guy. He gets dunked on quite a bit for all this stuff. I started a company with someone, and it ended up when he stole all the money. That sucks. Anyways, all right, back to Dax. I like this take. I think the thing that needs to be understood here is that Bun has an inherent advantage over Node. They have no backwards compatibility. They have no need to have like some huge long tail running, legacy code base, right? They're just brand new. So they obviously have a huge advantage. First mover advantage is very important, but it's not actually end game. I did try Bun about 6 months ago and it kept seg faulting on me. So I'm very, very curious, what does it feel like today? I am going to give it a try. I'm very excited about it. I think it could be something really good because here's the deal about Node and just the JavaScript ecosystem that sucks. There's no build tool, right? You put the one in you like. Some people still just copy pasta their Webpack config when they need to build something. Some people use Vite. There's Parcel. There's TurboPack. Apparently Snowpack still exists. People still use Snowpack, okay? Snowpack's still a thing. You still got, I've seen projects recently that still have, what's it called? Gulp and Grunt as part of it, right? It's still a thing. And so it's like there's no build tool. There's no bundler. There's no specifying of anything. There's no standard tool for any operation in JavaScript, which means it's just one gigantic, constant annoying battling that's always going on. And so it's very, very amazing to see. It's very amazing to see someone to try to like create an entire ecosystem for it. That's all. Yeah, and poor Bauer. Can we just pour one out for Bauer? Bauer. It didn't work. Dude, I hated Bauer, by the way. Bauer ruined my life. I spent unlimited amount of hours working with Bauer. Bauer was awful. But I will say that someone trying to bring all these tools under one roof and just like, here's the runtime, the tools it takes, everything. It all goes together. Go. I love the idea. I think they're actually doing the right thing. All right, so here's a huge naysayer, Cory. Bun is exciting, but Bun's all-in-one approach has many risks and downsides. I actually think it has mostly upsides. That's what every other language does. Like, right? I don't build Go with some other tool other than Go. I don't run Go with some other tool than Go. I don't install dependencies with some other tool than Go. I don't do anything with some other tool than Go. Same thing with Rust. Same thing with Zig. Same thing with VLang. Same thing with any modern anything. You would literally never do some like, oh, hey, you want to just amalgamate your own pile of bullshit? Like, no. You don't use TinyGo? No, I don't use TinyGo. Ugh. No one wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that, okay? You just want it to work. All right, so what does he have to say? Bun will often lag behind changes to the separate tools it replaces. When JS tools innovate, Bun will be able to quickly support something similar. I'm unsure what, like when it comes to bundling a file, I'm unsure if there's much room left for innovation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's like a ton left there. Minification, you could argue, hey, but will Bun just use an off-the-shelf minifier? This seems kind of like an argument that doesn't make any sense. And JS tools innovating, we've mostly innovating into hell. If it's buggy or insufficient, Bun is harder to replace than separate tools. Okay, fair. One could argue that is a fair statement, but again, look at what it's predicated on. there's already an assumption that it's not going to work built into this, right? If it's buggy or insufficient, then it's harder to replace. Absolutely. But you got to also do the inverse. It's also really hard to build anything in which you have 50 choices for everything. Oh, you want to like do CSV parser for Node.js? Let me see. What do we got here? You got like everything. There's like so many different ones. There's a top 10 for 2022. Okay? 10 separate CSV parsers. 10! Oh, maybe WebSockets will be easier. WebSockets, Node.js, best to use. You're going to get 9! 9! 9! And guess what on the 9? Not a single one of these 9 contains micro WebSockets, which is actually the fastest, and one of them contains Socket.io, which is just like, what is this? Why would you do that? Why would you contain Socket.io? Okay, so it is kind of nice that Bun provides a lot of things. You know, Rust also provides TCP and HTTP. And do we really need someone else to provide some of these things? I don't know. I just don't know. Can I still mix and match tools to select the best of breed stack? Well, you can still have the stack you want, yes. You just don't need to worry about bundling, dog. Hey, dog, you don't need to worry about bundling anymore. Higher risk. The tool chain is reliant on one team instead of many. This is like a Faustian bargain still. You have to assemble it. Yes, I would say, but this is a real one right here. What if Bun burns out / loses funding? Bun will be hard to replace. Can we all agree with that one? That's a very hard one to replace. So that's a good one, which is if Bun doesn't make it, are you sure you want to bet on something that's not making money? Right? He wants a bundling stack. The best bundling stack. To me, this is a real argument, which is it's still pretty new. It makes no money, and it has VC funding, which means it at some point won't have VC funding. So you better have something kind of prepared. Lack of ecosystem. Will cloud providers support Bun? Will community form around Bun to provide extensions and support? Are those docs sufficient? Those sound like questions you should ask before putting a check mark and saying no. Will Bun honor JS standards or seek to extend and extinguish? This guy better not be using any Microsoft tools, okay? You can't be quoting Microsoft. If you're using VS Code, which is literally we're going to figure out a way to charge developers $100 a month for them to be able to develop, there's been no greater extend extinguish move by Microsoft in the last decade than VS Code. I would be shocked. Better not be using it. Will Bun honor JS standards or seek to extend and extinguish? The latter is common approach that makes products sticky, but also breaks compatibility. Bun already has some non-standard behaviors. I'd have to look into this, but I'm pretty sure it's not JS standards that they're talking about. I'm pretty sure Cory right here is mixing up JS with Node, right? I'm pretty sure he means Node standards. I'm pretty sure that's what he means. And so that is fair game. ECMAScript standards, I'd be genuinely surprised because that means you have to write your own engine. They don't write their own engine. They use what Safari uses. So whatever is non-standard would mean that Safari has non-standard macros. Yeah, the macros is a bit interesting, but that's like an extension. I'm not sure if, extend and then extinguish. It is a curious bit of behavior. I'm very worried about macros. I think that probably is a dumb play. Probably a dumb play. It's probably a dumb play. It could be a dumb play. Got him. I will agree. Okay, there is one thing that you can say. Yes, the macros are a warning for me. I'm upset about the macros. I am upset about the macros. I don't know about that one. Can one team support something this complex long term? Okay, this last statement is just nonsensical. It's one company. Can one company support this long term? Yes. One would assume that if they continue to get funding and make money, one can do that. Like NPM's small team? Yeah, like NPM, to be clear, I'm rooting for Bun, but they're trying to accomplish is hard and risky. Will it work? I think you can drop most of these and really just focus on, I think the macro idea is stupid. You should be extremely careful about macros. Lack of ecosystem, I don't buy this for 1 second. Higher risk, yes, this is the higher risk part. I don't think relying on many tools instead of one is somehow better in any argument. I don't think this is real. I think you're just making this up. This is kind of a what if bad scenario. Yeah, what if tomorrow Vite pushes a bad build and breaks everybody build, and then that's the only one available? Well, yeah, I could come up with a doomsday scenario. That doesn't make any sense. I don't even know if I like the idea of Bun. Vitepad could happen tomorrow. But at the same time, this idea that Node is the only thing that should exist is also silly. You know what? I don't think JavaScript is in a great place, okay? VC equals venture capital. Is chat really struggling with what venture capital is? Come on, chat. Anyways, so this is extremely important point about Bun versus Node.js. Node.js has all these things kind of going against it, which really is just like a huge legacy code base, a bunch of things that they support. They're not as narrow, they've just lived longer, right? That's a really hard momentum to undo. Bun obviously has the advantage. They have the advantage by providing something faster, right? They're going to be able to say, hey, we don't support as much, but that is okay because everything that we're doing is going to be more amazing and for the hardware you're actually targeting, right? You run on servers. Here's something designed for servers. It's most excellent, right? So everyone can agree that's very, very nice. We want to see that. But here's the problem about making it a business. Can I just throw out the bad part? All right, so it's going to take millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to be able to build out this business. You're going to have to go to vendors and whoever to try to change their minds about hosting Node, but actually start adding a Bun option, which means that all these vendors are going to start having to just also do a whole bunch of work to get this done. Maybe they're going to have to spend millions of dollars to be able to get Bun working. I don't know how much money it's going to take, but at the end of the day, it could also take paying 3 people in the hundreds of thousands, maybe $1 million for them to go fix the parts of Node that are slow right now, that are competitive to Bun, right? And they could do that in a few weeks, maybe a couple months. I'm seeing a lot about Bun versus PNPM install speed comparisons, but I would like to provide some nuance. The absurd perf differences usually is a result of one tooling running with a network API call overhead while the other is not. Yes, this is what exactly I'm thinking. This is why I said I don't trust those results. It's probably one is just literally just sim linking some folders, and the other one is literally downloading crap, right? Let's see. Bun installs defaults to behavior similar to PNPM's prefer offline flag, which skips hitting the NPM API. To simulate the default behavior of NPM, you have to use Bun force. Here's some comparisons on my machine. Network from Singapore. Okay. Bun with cache log files. Okay. Bun force with cache log files. Okay. So it's still Bun is still faster. Okay. So this is actually a much more reasonable comparison. Is in this case nobody cares, right? Nobody right here is going to be caring. But this case and this case are more interesting. The no cache, no lock file request, slow. Is it faster? Absolutely, it's faster. So Bun's better. This one right here, cache with lock file, cache with no lock file. So the same state. Yeah, this is better. So to me, that's a good comparison. Good job, Evan. Good job. Evan, just dynamite right there. All right. Anyway, so that's my thoughts about Bun, which is, to me, it seems really hard. They are compile time execution, yeah. All macros are compile time execution. So the hard part I see for Bun is that they can be easily defeated without anybody opting into a new system. You know what I mean? You don't have to opt into a new system with new bugs, with no anything. There's no moat. The moat is truly just that, hey, we have better dev tools. And that is a good moat. So there you go. Those are all my thoughts I think I have on it, is getting excited by marketing. I don't know. I'm not as excited for for Bun. I'm not nearly as excited for Bun, I think, as everybody else, but I think Bun has a potential. I need to see what it looks like, right? I'd have personally a hard time betting on it right now. Like if it was a horse race and I had to bet in 5 years who's going to have a bigger market share, Node or Bun, this feels like a really hard bet to make. You know what I mean? I think if anything, Bun's just going to emphasize the fact that you want really nice tools. Someone keeps asking what a macro is. Macro is just like compile time code, right? You think of C preprocessor macros, think of Rust macros. They're little declarations. They're usually very declarative in your code. I want this thing to happen, and then that thing has some sort of running thing underneath the hood. Your mom? Absolutely, front end Peter. My mom. The name is the... Am I even qualified to talk about Bun? I think I am. I think I am. As somebody who's done a lot of Node.js, I feel like I have a lot to say about it. Now, I might be wrong, but at least I'm trying something, okay? I'm trying to give a reasonable ass take here in an unreasonable world where everybody has to have like a one-sided, one-dimensional take. Either everything's a huge risk or everything is going to be the most greatest thing in the universe and you should switch everything to it all at the exact same time. You know what my advice is? Go use Rust or Go again.